Raw reading, May 1st, 2022. Suzanne had come from the southwest edge of the state, where land and sky stretched out together. Great swaths of prairie flowers turned the earth gold and russet for months, and the sky filled with the hum of bees and the dance of swallows. She arrived in Minnesota on an orphan train at the age of 6. She remembered nothing before the train, and of the train only the sound of it rumbling along for days and days, lining up with other children, and people taking them away, always them and not her. Finally, Suzanne was chosen by a farmer, along with a boy a few years older. They went to live on a prairie farm where electricity would not come until 1945. So far from any town, nobody troubled themselves whether the orphans got to school, got fed, or saw the inside of a church. The farmer and his wife spoke German to each other and very little English to the children. The boy did learn German passably well, though he refused to speak it, keeping his ability a secret, partly out of spite toward them, and partly out of solidarity with Suzanne. Their favorite chores took them away from the German couple and out onto the prairie. Suzanne liked wandering about, looking for cow chips, which she collected and brought home for the stove. She and the boy from the orphan train grew into close companions. Okay, so this piece of new text, just written, still handwritten in pencil on loose leaf paper, is a revision, which is to say a complete do-over of a previous draft in which the character, the protagonist, Evelyn, moves into a school. So she's in an all-new setting with an all-new set of supporting characters. And Suzanne is one of the girls living with her in the school. The previous draft sucks. It is, in the words of Anne Lamott, a shitty first draft. This, what I just wrote, I could call a first draft equally well because it is so completely different from what I had. What I had does not include this sort of introduction to the characters at all. It's just the characters sitting around a table speaking, but in leaving little bits of their backstory off the page, in not using exposition to introduce these characters. I missed an opportunity to fill in more of the era, more of the larger world outside of the school, by revealing something about where these girls come from and how they came to be at the school. So this felt like it flowed. It felt really good to write it. It still feels good. Hopefully, when I read it next down the road after it has rested, it will still feel just as good and necessary to the story, unlike the text it is replacing, which, as I said before, sucks. So there you go. That is today's raw reading and a little bit of reflection on the piece. If you want to see other raw readings, go to Alida Winternheimer.com.